Hey everyone, how you doing today? I'm Kirsty and I am about to play a game that has been created specifically for Gothtober, and I think this thing's the most incredible thing and it's going to help me pick my TBR for October. So yeah, the camera angle on this is a bit different to normal. I am using my front-facing camera and I'm just holding it, whereas normally I use my better camera. But I apologise, but that's because I'm going to be switching very soon and my screen recording, because a game has been created for this readathon and I think it's amazing. Every year with Gothtober, they do something a little bit different. Last year was my first year doing it, and it was angels versus demons, and you chose to be either on the angels team, the demons team, or you could be neutral and be on death's team, I think it was. And I went with death. Yeah, I just preferred the prompts of that. And it's hosted by but Ladette underscore Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe, and Tisha from It's Little Wolf. And yeah, it's a yearly thing and it's all based around the idea of like goth and gothic, and they pick a theme. So like I said, last year was angels and demons, so they did themes based around angels and demons, and you don't have to read gothic and horror books, you can just find any book that fits the prompts. And this year they've gone with the final girl trope. So in horror movies, you've always got like that one female that seems to survive everything. She's the final girl. And yeah, as I said, they've created a game online that's a choose your own adventure, and it's got 3 scenarios that you can go through. This is from what I've just heard on the YouTube video, and each one at the end will give you a list of prompts to help build your TBR. So I'm gonna switch to screen view soon and you're gonna see me play it, and I'm going to do all 3 scenarios, have a look at all 3 of the prompt lists that it gives me, and then choose from there which one I'm going to do for October. So yeah, next clip you're going to see is me playing the game. Okay, so when you first go on to the website, which is going to be linked below, by the way, the link to the YouTube video and everything will be below. This is so cool. As you move across the page, it opens it up. How awesome is this? Welcome to Gothtober. Woo! Oh, I'm actually so excited for this. Oh. Stabby knife. Summer camp, derelict warehouse. I'm going to go from like the one that appeals the least to the most. So I'm going to start with summer camp. Summer camp, right. That would explain why I'm wearing... Who wears flip-flops? Ugh. I mean, that would be my preferred. But a hoodie and tennis shoes, that is pretty much what I live in anyway, so... Need to get my bearings, pretty sure I know where I am. I'm pretty sure this is the dining hall, because I am a pig and like to eat. At least I'm armed. I never leave home without my bow and arrow. If you know me, I am an archer through and through. Oh my god, what was that? I don't want to know. I'll be okay. I'm a born survivor. I took a course. I mean, if I've got a bow and arrow, it makes sense that I took a course in archery. But I feel like first aid's a really good skill. I'm trying to think of like what these prompts are going to be, and I'm like, well, first aid probably be like a book with a healer or something. I'm going to say that because I already have the bow and arrow and I've already learned, I took a course in first aid. But I need help. I need to get to a satellite phone is the most. But I'm a Gothtober final girl. I will survive, and it will be because I killed everyone else. I've had training, or I'll get a team together. Based off my choices that I've already picked, I'm going to go with it's my training. So, based on that little storyline, I have read a gothic mood read book, read a book by a comforting author. This font is really difficult to read. Read a book with food as a key theme or image on the cover. Oh, food hall. Read a book with multiple deaths, mass casualties. Yep. Read a book by a BIPOC author. Read an LGBT book. Read a book with disability rep. Those are the 3 standards that no matter what list you do, they come up. Read a book with blood on the cover or in the title. That's the first aid. Read a book with an isolated setting. So that's the satellite phone. And read a book with a training montage or extensive training. Oh, wow. These prompts aren't actually what I predicted they were going to be. Ha, that's awesome. So I'm going to take a quick photo of that and then we will go on and do the next one. So that was cabin. Okay, here we go. Derelict warehouse. These are in order of how I like them, actually. A warehouse. How? I mean, at least it explains the machinery. The last thing I remember... I definitely wasn't at a party. I don't do parties. I was at my nerdy friend's house. I guess that explains why I'm wearing I went with sweatshirt last time. My favourite leather jacket and boots. Wait, what's this in my pocket? It's a half-scribbled note that I can barely read. It's a cassette player. The voice on it sounds really creepy. It's a blurry photograph and I'm in it. Ooh, that one sounds intriguing. Oh my god, what was that? Definitely something. Nah, I'm not dying today. I need a weapon. I'm going to grab a crowbar. That is by far the best weapon on this list. Plank with a nail, not really going to do much. Steel pipe, bludgeoning damage, yes, but a crowbar, you've got bludgeoning, piercing and slashing all in one. Don't ask how I know that. And I'm a Gothtober final girl. I will survive, and it will be because I think for this one I'll get a team together. Okay, read a gothic mood read book, so that looks like a standard. Read a book with an ominous or threatening title. Read a cottagecore or light academia book. Read a book with an unlikely hero. I'm trying to remember what these match up to. Oh yeah, that was being at my friend's house. Read a graphic novel or illustrated book. Yes. Then we've got the BIPOC, LGBT and disability. Read a book you could survive. And read a book with multiple survivors. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, our final round. We are doing the Gothic Mansion, which is the one that I am looking forward to. Alien B Manor. A large Gothic house I came with my friends, my family, my partner. I mean, it's always friends, isn't it, in these? It's either friends or partner in these things. They're hosting a charity banquet. It's why I'm wearing formal wear. I'm here as a guest. I want to be fancy. Oh my god, what was that? What did I do last time? Definitely something, wasn't it? So, nothing? Wait, is that a voice? They're coming from the walls. I hate this. I'm going to find somewhere I feel safe. I'm going back to is there any other choice than library? And maybe I'll pick up a weapon while I'm at it. I've always been handy with a fireplace poker, tome, candelabra. Again? Well, I feel like fireplace poker is a bit too similar to the crowbar. Not really sure how useful a tome or a candelabra. I mean, a tome, you could just throw it at someone. Candelabra, that could be useful, but they can be very heavy. I'm going to go with tome as we're in the library. It makes sense. And then I'm a Gothtober final girl. I will survive, and it'll be because I killed everyone else because it's the only one I've not chosen yet. What have we got? Mood book again. Read a book with backstabbing or betrayal as a key thing. Oh, I think I've already picked my list. Read a beautiful book. Read a book by BIPOC, LGBT, disability. Read a book with a sentient house. Ooh. Read a book with a murder mystery. Read a heavy book. And read a book with a plot twist. Oh, okay. I got really lucky with this readathon. I managed to get pretty much all of the books that I listed in my autumnal TBR. I managed to fit on this TBR. So I'm really happy. If I could do it without dropping them. This is the stack of books that I picked. So we have a few in here. There's a couple of slightly chunky books and there's one absolute monster that I'm a little bit nervous to get to. But anyway, I chose the third list. So I will just flash it back up here so you can see the prompts. And I'm just going to load on my own screen so I can see the prompts too, because that would be helpful. Yeah, so this one was the haunted house type scenario. So you're in a mansion, and I'm going to just go through it in order that I've got it here on the screen. So the first one is to read a gothic mood book, and I've got Cursed, an anthology. And this is a collection of short story fairy tale retellings by various authors, including Neil Gaiman and Christina Henry. I've got a cool bookmark to go with it. And yeah, that's just going to be pretty cool. I can do like a short story a day or something. Then it was read a book with a backstabbing or a betrayal as the key theme, and I've gone with The Wolf and the Woodsman. This gives me very sort of autumnal vibes with the colours. How many times am I going to say vibes in this video? But it's got like those autumnal colours, it's got the wolf on it, it just gives me spooky, creepy. And unfortunately I got a bit of a misprinted one from Yauk, so it's got like a green stripe down it and it's got a rip on one of the pages. Like, this is how I got it. So I think that was a bit of a misprint, but you know. And yeah, literally on the back it says, when soldiers from the Holy Order of Woodsmen arrive to claim a girl for their king's blood sacrifice, she is betrayed and surrendered. Definitely fits the theme. Next up was read a beautiful book, and for that I chose The Raven Boys, because this needs to come off my bloody TBR. It's been on my bookshelves for 3 years now. It's time I got to it. And it is so beautiful. It might not be a special edition or anything, but just the black raven along with the red pops of colour. I just think it's a really stunning, and it goes all the way around. I love covers that do that. So interesting. Next up we have read a book by a BIPOC author, and I'm going to reread Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. And even though this isn't really autumn, this actually gives me more wintry vibes. I don't know, I remember I quite liked it, but I didn't love it when I got my Fairy Loot version, so I'm going to reread it. And I do love the cover, it is so pretty. It's one of my favourite covers, actually. The main character in this, she is like the decoy Candiza. She's like the stand-in for the real one and gets sent into the enemy territories on like a political thing. And she uncovers a load of secrets and ends up meeting a guy that she ends up having to team up with, and he's also a healer. And there's just an interesting relationship between them, and it has a magic system where they weave magic through tapestries, and it is so well written and it's so well done. I loved the magic system in this. So I'm looking forward to rereading it 2 years after I originally did. We then have read an LGBT book, which is All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. And in this, you got a girl that's giving out tarot readings, and it goes really wrong when her friend, or is it her friend or ex-best friend, and Lily disappears. And so she now has to try and find her ex-best friend. And from what I understand, there is some LGBT rep in there. I'm not sure exactly the extent, but I do know there is LGBT rep in this. Then we have to read a book with disability rep. Now this is one that I don't know details, I just know someone told me that it features disability, but they didn't go into detail on what the disability was. But that's Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. And this is one of the chunkier books, and it's tiny writing as well, which is bonus. I'm sure I read somewhere that there's an amputee in the book. And I just had another friend who's read it who said that there's like mental health stuff in here. So let me know in the comments if I'm wrong or if I need to correct it. read a book with a sentient house, and I'm kind of taking liberties on this one, and I'm stretching it a bit because I'm not interested in the sentient house genre, and I went through about 20 book lists that listed them, and they all listed the same few, and ones that did do things. It's like, well, House Moving Castle I've already read, and I don't want to read the sequels because I didn't actually enjoy it very much, and I don't know, I just didn't get on with it. And then I thought about Gallant, but then that would mean buying books, and I'm trying to clear books off my backlist, not buy them. And then I thought I'm going to take liberties, and I've chosen this Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron because even though the house itself isn't sentient, from what I understand, the main character has powers over flowers, and the flowers kind of have minds of their own, and they are in this house. And just when you look at the blurb, it just feels like the house has a sense of sentience to it, if not magic, you know? It's like, Bryce's has a gift. She can grow an apple tree from a seed in a heartbeat, and flowers bloom at her touch. And when she inherits an old house, she suddenly has the privacy to test her powers for the first time. But as Bree starts to magic the house's rambling grounds back to life, she finds she has also inherited generations of secrets. In a hidden garden overgrown with the most deadly poisonous plants on earth, a dark legacy waits for her. I don't know, this just tells me there's going to be something with the house, or it's going to give a creepy, eerie feel. So that one's my pick for that. Then it's a book with a murder mystery, so I will be rereading Fables Volume 1 by Bill Willingham. And this is all the fairy tale creatures had to escape their world when there was a revolt and when they were being taken over, and they escaped into our world. And the ones that pass as humans live in New York, like in the city, and the ones that don't have a community upstate New York. But in this, we are following Rose Red. Well, we're following Snow White, whose sister Rose Red has been murdered, and she has to try and find out who it is, and ends up teaming up with, what's his name? The Big Bad Wolf. But you've got like, it's a really fascinating take on the whole story of all the different fairy tales. But yeah, it definitely involves a murder mystery. Then it's to read a heavy book, and I do not own a heavier book than Empire. Ow! I just stabbed myself with it. Ow! With Empire of the Vampire, which is the mega chonker. So the writing is about average, but it's over 700 pages. Actually isn't the biggest book I would have read this year, but for some reason this feels chunkier than House of Earth and Blood. For some reason, it just feels chunkier. No, House of Sky and Breath. But it has been 27 long years since the last sunrise. For nearly 3 decades, vampires have waged war against humanity, building their eternal empire even as they tear down our own. Now only a few tiny sparks of light endure in a sea of darkness. And basically you've got this guy who is like the last remaining hope for the people, and he has to go and find the Holy Grail in order to stop the vampires. I don't want to read out the entire blurb. Yaz will be extraordinarily happy that I am reading this. And then the final book is an ebook, and that is to read a book with a plot twist. Is it? No, yeah. No, it's to read a book with a plot twist, and I asked around, and I looked on some spoiler-free reviews, and I discovered that House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig? I believe, Erin Craig, something like that. But House of Salt and Sorrows, this is a retelling of The 12 Dancing Sisters by Brothers Grimm. And all I know about it is that there's a curse that all the daughters are destined to die. But then there's like some other stuff that goes on as well. I'm not sure if this actually would fit Sentient House as well, but we'll discover. I could always rejig stuff around. But this does sound dark and eerie and creepy, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to getting to this, and I have been told that it does have a couple of plot twists thrown in throughout. So that is my choice of books for the Gothtober readathon, and I am so excited for this. I think what they did with the website was brilliant. It was really fun last year. It's going to be really fun again this year. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and which one you think I should prioritise, and also let me know what you're most looking forward to reading in October. For me, I am most intrigued by Empire of the Vampire. most intimidated by Gideon the Ninth, and I'm most excited to get Raven Boys off my shelf, but also The Wolf and the Woodsman. That's one that I've been wanting to read since it came out. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. And even though they're not like horror spooky books, I feel like they still fit that sort of October, like, you know, there's vampires in there, there's necromancers in there, there's dark retellings and spooky. So I think I've managed to fit the brief pretty well. Anyway, I'm going to head off and I will see you guys on the next video. I hope you're good, I hope you're staying safe, and until next time.